Welcome back to Mock the Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm mocking, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. We got a good one today as we're checking out Mel Kiper's 2023 NFL mock draft. He did this sucker on February 28th, so just a couple of days ago. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. But what's cracking lacking is your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, that beautiful, that football discourse. Let's go ahead, get into it, as he has a trade at pick 1, as he has the Texans moving up one spot to take that number 1 pick from the Bears. Now, he says here, my pal Todd McShay and Matt Miller projected the Colts to move up to the number one to get a quarterback, but there's another trade Chicago should consider here. This involves Houston moving up just one spot to get its quarterback of the future. It's risky for the Texans to stay put at number 2. What if another team makes a deal with the Bears and selects the passer that they wanted? And I think that's a very true statement. I think that's a good reason why the Texans should just sit, hope, and pray at number 2. If they really like a quarterback in this class, go ahead and move up, so you make sure a team, like apparently the Bears are talking to everybody in the top 10. So teams like the Colts, teams like the Seahawks, shoot, maybe the Lions, the Titans we're talking. I mean, we know the Raiders and the Panthers are 2 teams that need quarterbacks. Don't just move up with not necessarily whatever it takes, but if it's good value in terms of what you're giving away, it's not too outlandish, then yeah, go ahead and make that move one spot up to go ahead and get your quarterback. I think there's a lot. I think there's a good reason in there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at who the Texans did pick, and it is, in fact, Bryce Young. I absolutely love Bryce Young. I think he is the best passer of the football in this class. The big sticking point is size. Yes, he is small. Now, typically, I tend to agree with, like, okay, yeah, smaller guys, like, as long as they're not terribly small, you know, I'm not too mad at it, but like, we're talking about a top 5, shoot, the number 1 overall pick here. And are you willing to bet that Bryce Young could be an exception to this standard we have when it comes to quarterback size? And I'm willing to. He's that good of a passer. And the whole thing with the size, it's not, oh, he won't be able to see over the offensive line. He did just a fine job at that at Alabama. It's his longevity in the league, because big sticking point people are going to bring up, Kyler Murray, man. Look, Kyler Murray got banged up. Like, I think he had an ankle sprain in 2021 where he missed 3 games. But this season it was a non-contact injury. You're worried about your quarterback taking unnecessary hits and his body not being able to hold up. And we're talking about, you can't use Kyler Murray as an example. It was a non-contact injury. And like the dude, like prior to even that ankle sprain in 2021, he didn't miss many games. Like, he would come out of a game. I think there were like 2 instances since his rookie year where he came out of a game, but he returned the following week. So it's like, just 2 instances there. I mean, you look at a guy like Russell Wilson, who has been, apart from his final year with the Seahawks, where it was a thumb, I think he had a guy's helmet. Like, he did a tremendous job keeping healthy and protecting his body, and he's sub 6 foot. He's 5'11", and I know Bryce Young might be smaller than that. I don't know. We'll see at the combine this weekend, but I'm just saying, if you're one of the guys that you can't sell yourself on Bryce Young, I don't think you have a leg to stand on in terms of saying, hey, you shouldn't like Bryce Young. You're crazy if you think he should be the top quarterback in this class. Because I don't know. When you take the 2 best examples of currently quarterbacks playing at sub 6 foot, one's a non-contact injury, and the other has been basically healthy his whole career and hurt his finger on a helmet. So I don't know. That's just my point of view, of course. Feel however you want to feel. I don't care. All right, let's go ahead and check out the Bears. Oh, no, we got another trade here. Okay, wow. Wheeling and dealing. Okay, because I thought we were going to have to talk about something. But we'll talk about it in a few picks because, yeah, some news broke, and we're going to talk about it. All right, so the Colts, they trade up. So Chicago, man, this they must feel great. So they trade down one spot, and then they trade down with the Colts. I wonder how many trades are in this mock draft. So regardless, to do this deal, moving to 4-2, the Colts are going to have to give up pick 35, which I think would be exceptionally, expected. And along with a few more, they have an extra third-round pick potentially in the 2024 classes. Okay, Mel's kind of just throwing draft capital out there. So whatever, let's get to the pick. It's CJ Stroud. I'm a big fan of Stroud. I like Stroud. I think he's exceptionally solid. There will be concerns about him outside of structure or when things break down. People point, well, he did it just fine in the Georgia game, but it's like, yeah, but you have a whole season where he didn't exactly do it so well. So I think that's a valid point, but the Colts do need to take their next signal caller. So moving up here against Stroud, I think that's fine. All right, Cardinals take Will Anderson here. So honestly, with what's going on right now, that might be the case for the Cardinals. So they just grab another pass rusher with Jonathan Gannon now in tow. But an elite guy. You're not kind of hoping Cameron Thomas and Myjah Sanders kind of emerge. You get a guy that you know is going to come in day one and hopefully produce at a high level for you. Will Anderson is one of he's up there. It might be the top guy now in terms of best non-quarterback prospects. But good pick by the Cardinals. Let's see what the Bears go with. It's Jalen Carter. So Jalen Carter and Will Anderson are the top two top two non-quarterback prospects in this class. But this mock draft was done before news broke with Jalen Carter. Let's go ahead and talk about that because everyone's gonna I think before you form your own opinion on it, just wait and see. Wait for news to come out. Wait for more information. So you just don't look stupid in the future when whatever you thought ends up being wrong. Let's just go over what we know now and what that potentially might mean. I'll give you my opinion on it. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, 2 people passed away during whatever happened with this. And I'll pull to the story real quick. And the focus should be there. Listen, when it comes to drunk driving or just driving recklessly in general, dude, you're behind a freaking 2-ton machine, going 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. Can we take this serious? I know driving's a luxury for most of us and we kind of take it for granted, but can we take it serious? Because I think one of the leading causes of death in the United States under the age of 54 is car crashes. So can we quit being stupid on the road? And I kind of preface this to say because college kids are stupid. High school kids are stupid too. So if you're not familiar with the situation here, unfortunately, this is according to police accounts. Both cars, so I guess let's just start from the beginning. This is from the police department. They said Wednesday that Carter, who had not been publicly connected with the crash, there was a crash. It cost 2 people their lives. One, a former teammate of Jalen Carter, and the other was a staff member, I believe. But from the looks here, it says that they had been racing side by side. So they were in 2 separate cars, Jalen Carter and then the people who crashed. So according to police account, both cars were traveling in excess of the speed limit and darted into oncoming traffic lanes ahead of the crash in Athens, Georgia. The Expedition, which was the other car, the Jeep Cherokee, I believe, was Jalen Carter was the one driving it. But the Expedition was traveling at 100 miles per hour when it left the road and crashed into a power pole, killing was it Chandler Leroy and Devin Willock. And there were 2 other passengers who were hurt in the car. Unfortunately, in this case, like toxicology reports indicated that LaCroix was intoxicated at the time. This is going to be the important thing here, because like Jalen Carter apparently, at least via this is reported by Atlanta Journal-Constitution, because it's important. Like you check these sources out, because like if information comes out ends up being wrong, you know who to point to. I'm just saying that he had gave conflicting statements to the police. So the biggest questions ahead right now, because there was an arrest warrant out for Jalen Carter, and Jalen Carter's team and the police, they've come to agreement. He's going to surrender himself. But Jalen Carter's made a statement where it's like, hey, there's a lot of false information going out there. Don't worry, the truth will come out, and we'll work to that. While like some places talking about, oh, he was like a mile down the road when the crash happened, it couldn't see it, and others are he actually fled the scene. Yet there's these statements that Carter made to police, so I don't know how that goes in conjuncture. Again, there's a lot more information that needs to come out. So, like, as of what this means for his draft stock, no one knows. No one knows. At the end of the day, no one has any freaking idea. Like, there's enough time to where hopefully a lot of this will get resolved, and at least we'll get a better understanding of the situation. Currently, as it stands, 2 misdemeanor charges for reckless driving are currently what Jalen Carter is facing. But both those result in either a $1,000 fine or community service. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's not like he is going to be severely punished. It's not like this cat's going to jail as of right now with the present information. Again, details can change as more stuff comes out. So from my point of view, you got a guy that for some people that he is number 1 on their board. And you, as it stands right now, for the most part, looks like a slap on the wrist. I mean, again, these are college kids. Again, we don't even know if Carter had been drinking either. So, again, there's so many questions here. So, like, young kids are stupid and they do stupid things. You can't even tie this to Todd McShay's stuff, because Todd McShay was making comments about his character in the locker room, and then a lot of stuff has come out that, like, goes against that. So this is not the character concerns Todd McShay had brought up, which those are kind of conflicted anyway. So like I had never seen any character issues, at least when I did my some of my background stuff, because I always do background checks on these guys, not like a police background check, but I Google, I look, and I keep reading. I read, just making sure there isn't anything there. But I couldn't find anything with Carter. So again, anything Todd McShay had, like whatever character concerns he was bringing up, is kind of irrelevant to what's going on now with this arrest. So like, let's separate those two. But now teams are going to be like, okay, so they're going to question his maturity. But at the end of the day, these are young kids. They're stupid. This guy's kind of top on the board for a lot of teams. And if I'm going to give you my honest opinion, I think as it stands now, he doesn't slip out of the top 10. I kind of have a hard time he slips out of the top 5. Like, but again, things can change. Things can change as more information comes out, as we find out about it. So as of right now, this is kind of a long issue. Took up a whole lot of the video, but you know, I kind of just want to address that because I'm already in my mock the mock from yesterday, when the news broke, people were like, oh, Jalen Carter going to jail. And I was like, you have no freaking idea what's even happening. You're just saying crap. Like, But yeah, just again, wait for more information to come out. We just honestly won't know, and hopefully we'll know more about it. But kind of let the focus point be the people who lost their lives, knowing the importance of driving responsibly and not driving under the influence. And by driving responsibly, I mean don't drive recklessly. Like legit, people's lives are at stake. Like what most accidents happen like less than a mile away from your destination. I don't know if that's true statistic, but it is something that I've heard. But yeah, so that kind of should be like what we like the focus there. But the Bears, it would be kind of a no-brainer to take Jalen Carter again until more news happens. I don't know what more to tell y'all. I feel like I've given y'all a good. Oh look, they even made the note here, but I feel like I've given y'all a good enough information. I don't know. You let me know. All right, so projected trade here. We got Carolina. They're moving up in front of they're trading with the Seahawks. So moving up here, I assume to get a quarterback. They get Will Levis. I firmly think that Carolina needs to make a move up for quarterback. Unless they, I don't know, settle on Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, freaking Mel Kiper says, or Aaron Rodgers. Okay. I have, honestly, that's something, I have no idea what's going to go on with Aaron Rodgers. Your guess is as good as mine at that point. But no, this is good for Carolina. They get Will Levis. Kind of curious to see where Anthony Richardson will land. Detroit Lions take Christian Gonzalez. He's my top corner. A lot of people really do like Devon Witherspoon as well. Even Joey Porter. These are kind of like the three names in circulation right now for the top spot at corner. And we already know the Lions, their corner position was dog water. So the Raiders, they decide to not go quarterback. They go with Devon Witherspoon because, hey, man, Illinois corners kind of worked out for him last time, right, with Nate Hobbs. So let's read this one, actually. The Raiders could go several ways here, including trading up like the Panthers. We'll see much of the Raiders' offseason plans over the next month. No crap, free agency, bro. That's not Anthony Rich. Oh, wait. But they need a quarterback who can play right away. That's not Anthony Richardson. This is what I've been saying the whole time. They need a quarterback who can play right away. I really think they're going to get Jimmy G or Jacoby Brissett, which still means quarterback is on the table for this pick. But Witherspoon's a good pickup. They got a lot of holes on defense. They really do. Will McDonald had a farm, and that farm was in Atlanta, Georgia. Holy moly, is the highest I've seen him go, but I don't hate it. And you know, it's funny. I kind of like, I draw similarities, parallels to Will McDonald's draft stock compared to Arnold Ebiketti's draft stock. These are two older guys that could be like fringe first rounders that are at the very least early second rounders. And that's kind of funny. But yeah, no, they need pass rush desperately. I know stuff's come out with oh my gosh, that Atlanta, at least people from Atlanta are talking about how sub formations are base formations nowadays. And they kind of talked up how slots a starting position. Now people are thinking, oh, Brian Branch to the Falcons. It makes sense based on this one thing this one guy told us. And it's like, I feel like pass rush is still the best pick here, though, for him. But Will McDonald going high, man. That's insane. All right, the Seattle Seahawks, they take Anthony Richardson. I wanted to do this in my 3-round mock draft. You could check that out. 3-round mock draft, guys. That's good content there. But I think it's a good fit because even if you have Geno there, whether it's the franchise tag or you sign him to a little bit longer deal, Anthony Richardson gives them a year to, cook in the oven, prep the oven before you put the turkey in, and then you take the turkey out, and before you know it, you got this nice juicy turkey. Except for in the football world, that's quarterback. What the hell am I talking about? I just think it's a good pick. I like it because Seattle, you got 2 first-round picks. I feel like taking a swing on here, and let alone you traded down too, which is great. But taking a swing on here for swing at quarterback, always worth. Always worth. All right. Oh, Mel, man, you are. You see this? This is kind of like my hairline. This is why I'm bald, or why I'm going back to being bald. All right, Philadelphia Eagles take Peter Skoronski. Let's keep a strength for the Eagles with right guard Isaac Samalu. Free agents, you got Jason Kelsey, Mullen retirement. Why not take the best lineman? Cam Jurgens, a second-round pick, likely would slot in Kelsey, while Skoronski would fill the. All right, so you're firmly taking him as a guard. Like, you list him as an OT, but there's no mention of maybe Lane Johnson here. So they're taking Skoronski to be a guard, which that's fine. I mean, I think Skoronski's a top 10 guy in this class. It may not feel sexy, but if you're getting a guy that ends up being like Quentin Nelson, it's kind of worth. Like, if you know he's going to be good, then go for it. Paris Johnson going here to the Tennessee Titans. Everyone and their mom's mocking a tackle to the Titans. I don't think we really need to say much more there. Tyree Wilson fell down here a little bit, but apparently his, at least on stage interviews at the Combine have been very good. He's been very good at the podium, and especially with the Jalen Carter news that we could see Tyree Wilson leapfrog in front, which is kind of wild that Daniel Jeremiah did that prior to all this. So there's a conspiracy theory. Or at least I have one, I'll say that. And I really do think DeMeco Ryans going to want to play from the inside out. Or like I say play. He's going to want to build from the inside out. So making this a defensive line pick, I think, makes sense. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it was even a linebacker. All right, the Jets, they go with Anton Harrison. Throwing love for my boy. I like it. So this is kind of wild because Roger Jones still on the board. I think either are good picks. I haven't seen Anton Harrison go like this high in forever. I'm hoping he tests out well, but I like tackle to the Jets. You're not new to the channel, you already know this. All right, what else we got going on here? Pick 14 is the Patriots. They go Jackson Smith and Jigba. Patriot fans are going to be like, we never draft receivers in the first round, except for that one N'Keal Harry year, and that's a blemish. So let's not talk about it. Which, I mean, hey, there's credence there. If you don't think that's just like if you don't think that's something your team will do, then okay, fine, whatever. It doesn't take away that I think this is a good pick. It's a good fit. Maybe they change. Maybe like, no, let's get some weapons for Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi. But yeah. And then I would probably release Kendrick Bourne because they're basically going to play the same role. And I think it saves like $5 million. Green Bay Packers, Michael Mayer, Robert Tunyon's a free agent. Not much to say there. I hope Mayer runs, and I hope he runs well at the Combine because seeing Luke freaking Musgrave and Dalton Kincaid, 2 guys I actually like, starting to go ahead of Mayer. I think people just forgot how good Mayer is, and they've just kind of been like, well, Mayer's not a good receiving tight end. It's like, dude had almost 900 yards this year. What do you mean? It is what it is. Darnell Wright going to the Commanders here. All right, hold on. Let's show this because y'all know this is going to drive me wild. They could move inconsistent. Sam Cosmi has been exceptionally solid at tackle. The heck you on, Mel? Am I just in disbelief? I thought he's been one of the more solid players on that offensive line. But maybe I'm stupid. Move inconsistent guard or tackle Samuel Cosmi. Let's look at freaking Cosmi, why don't we? And again, these are just the analytics, so what do they prove? All right. Like I mean, to be fair, what he played guard 3 times this year. 2.5. Mainly played tackle that one game. But like, dude, like, okay, you look at this past season. His worst games came against Philly, where he allowed 6 pressures and 3 sacks. By the way, he only allowed 21 pressures and 5 sacks on the year. Which, fun fact, Philly, as a team, had 70-some sacks this year. I think 70. Could be more. But, so they were one of the better pass rushing teams in football. Okay, and then the last one's the Dallas Cowboys. 4 pressures, no sacks. Which, I don't know. I'd have to go and look at that because can't blame it all on Micah Parsons if he wasn't lining up against Cosme. But, dude, Cosme even had a good rookie year, dude. Screw y'all, man. I say screw y'all. Screw you, Mel. Let Cosme cook, dude. This team, I think, needs more of a guard. So, yeah, I don't know. Joey Porter, by the way, he's going to the Steelers here. He gets to play for his dad's team. Good for him, Steelers. They lose Cameron Sutton. They really have nothing at corner, so makes sense. Detroit Lions are going Drew Sanders. Ooh. So I think one of 2 things are going to happen here at the Combine. I think one of those linebackers are going to start pushing away from the other and maybe emerge as a top 20 guy. Or both just kind of stay where they are, where they're fringe first-round picks. I think one of them has to distinguish themselves. And I believe that could be Drew Sanders, man. Apparently he's talked to a lot of teams as not just as a off-ball linebacker, but even as a pass rusher. So, question will be, can he be? Will he be a consistent guy there for the Lions for off-ball? But I don't worry about that. I thought he was pretty solid this season outside from the missed tackles. Manuel Forbes going to the Bucks. That's pretty good. I'm kind of curious how much weight he actually put on. I finally saw the pictures where, just like mid-January where he was looking all skinny, and then it jumps to like late February and he's just jacked. And I was like, oh man, I'm kind of curious how you run. But yeah, Manuel Forbes, man. Bucks, they're gonna be missing Jameel Dean and Sean Murphy-Bunting. I doubt they could sign even one of those guys back. Here comes Miles Murphy off the board, another guy that could see his draft stock kind of pole vault with a very good week in here. I say here, I'm not there, but in Minneapolis at the Combine. Minneapolis? Indianapolis. What am I saying? No. Whatever. But yeah, no. I mean, the Seahawks, this is actually really good value. Because typically, I usually go Miles Murphy for the Seahawks. Instead, they trade back. They got Anthony Richardson, and then they still landed Murphy at 20. That's kind of good. The Chargers go Jordan Addison. I love it. I just love it. It's a good pick. It's one I love to make for the Chargers. Is this one going to be Quentin Johnston to the Ravens? No, it's Zay Flowers. Okay, so they grabbed some speed, but I mean, don't they got Duvernay for that? I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. No Bijan yet, by the way. But, yeah, get Lamar weapons, especially if you want to sign him long term. Ooh, Brian Brazier's still on the board here, too. Deontay Banks is one I've been saying, I've been saying the last, week and a half, I may not be high on Deontay Banks, but with how everyone else is this high on this guy, which probably means I should move him up a little bit. Let's see how he tests out. I don't mind being the slowest guy or the last one to move a guy up. Listen, I'm one of those better safe than sorry sometimes. So there were just some things I didn't like on tape about Deontay Banks that bugged me. But dude, if the dude is does end up testing out like the athlete everyone says he is, this dude's going to be a great fit for Flores. I think it kind of makes sense to project him here. Jacksonville Jaguars, Lucas Van Ness, also still on the board. A lot of good players still on the board. Holy moly. So they get a nice versatile piece here. Didn't they just extend, was it Roy Harris Robertson? Something like that. I'm pretty sure they just extended him. Also to kind of like free up cap, though. I think that was a big part of it. But, I mean, Ness is good value here. Is a little bit different than what they currently have at pass rusher. Well, I guess not so much after this past season. Quentin Johnson is a stellar get for the Giants. Like, this is ideally what they would love to get. Ideally, this is the receiver I think they would want. A guy with size, turns up field exceptionally fast. He's got good long field speed. I think they would love that. Dallas Cowboys, Dalton Kincaid. See, I'm going to tell you why I don't like this. They got guys like Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot, who played exceptionally well last year, I thought, which should allow you to move on from Dalton Schultz with kind of other maybe bigger guys or I would say more valuable. That's a word. There we go. More valuable guys on the board here. Like, I'm not going to lie, Brian Brazee would kind of be a thought here, I think. I mean, yeah, you want a meatier guy, but that's real good value. Bijan, come on, Bijan, let's do it. I mean, there's a few corners, but I guess I think Ringo's actually a really good fit for the scheme, but I'm just not in love with tight end for the Cowboys. I'm just not, and I really love Kincaid. Bijan going to the Bills. Hopefully they bring an offensive line talent, or else they're not really going to be able to reap the reward that is Bijan. But it will help out Josh Allen. I mean, you do get a banger player here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love the pick of Osiris Torrance here for Buffalo, because their offensive line was bad. All right, Bengals, they go Luke Musgrave. We get it. Hayden Hurst is a free agent. Musgrave's going to probably test out ridiculously. He looked really good in the 2 games he played this past season. He looked good at the Senior Bowl, so yeah, let's 3 tight ends in the first round. It is what it is. 4 Darnell Washington to the Saints. I don't like this pick. No, I think I'm just going to leave it at there. Like, you're the Saints. There's bigger needs. Bigger needs at better value. That's what I'm going to say. Like, Darnell Wright, listen, if you're going to take him in the first, this dude better be a focal point of your offense. Like, that's the problem, man. I don't think he's that dynamic enough of an athlete to kind of warrant that. And he's not going to be right for every scheme. So I like day 2, I think, makes all the sense in the world to me. But whatever. Kalijah Kancey, this is another one people just kind of pigeonhole to the Eagles. I'm kind of curious how he measures and weighs out at the combine. I think that'll be a big indicator of where he'll go in this draft. Is he fringe first, or is he more of a day 2 guy? The Kansas City Chiefs go with Broderick Jones. I forgot he was still on the board. This is a phenomenal freaking pick. I bet you the Chiefs are hoping and praying that Jones is still on the board, as we saw and Anton Harrison and Darnell Washington go ahead of him. So, yeah, no, this is a crap, Mel. This is a gnarly first-round mock draft. You let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. As always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.